It is an incredible honor to guest host Jeopardy." Those words marked what appeared to be a celebratory chapter in Mayim Bialik's career, a moment that symbolized both recognition and trust within one of television's most respected institutions. Yet behind the polished lights and familiar blue set, the role carried pressures that few outside the industry fully understood. Hosting Jeopardy was not just another job. It meant stepping into the legacy of Alex Trebek while navigating modern expectations, divided audiences, and an entertainment industry increasingly shaped by labor disputes and corporate decision-making. What unfolded in the years that followed would quietly redefine Mayim's public image and professional path, revealing how fragile success can be when personal values collide with institutional priorities. Roots shaped by culture and curiosity, Mayim Bialik was born on December 12, 1975 in San Diego to Beverly and Barry Bialik, whose families were Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe seeking stability and opportunity in the United States. Her upbringing was modest, culturally rich, and deeply rooted in tradition. Beverly, a drama teacher, introduced her daughter to theater early, while Barry explored writing and small business ventures that reflected both ambition and uncertainty. When the family later moved to Los Angeles, Mayim carried with her a sense of heritage shaped by synagogue life, Hebrew school, and a connection to Jewish history that gave her identity depth long before fame entered the picture. Early acting and unexpected pressures. Mayim entered acting as a child not through ambition but opportunity, appearing in small roles in the late 1980s that steadily built her confidence. Her breakthrough came with Beaches in 1988, where she portrayed the young version of Bette Midler's character, a role that exposed her to intense filming schedules, public attention, and professional expectations at an age when most children were still finding their footing. While the success opened doors, it also introduced her to the emotional strain faced by young performers, including isolation, anxiety, and the challenge of growing up under constant observation. Blossom and the weight of visibility. In 1990, Mayim became a household name as the lead in Blossom, a series that resonated with audiences for its emotional honesty and willingness to explore family struggles, adolescence, and identity. The show's success brought visibility and acclaim, but it also amplified pressures that Mayim found difficult to reconcile with her private life. While millions watched her weekly, she navigated personal challenges behind the scenes, learning early that public admiration does not always translate into emotional security. By the time the show ended in 1995, she had already begun questioning whether a life defined solely by acting was sustainable for her well-being. Choosing education over expectation. Rather than chasing similar roles after Blossom, Mayim made a choice that surprised both fans and industry insiders. She stepped away from acting to pursue higher education. Enrolling at UCLA, she studied neuroscience alongside Hebrew and Jewish studies, immersing herself in a world far removed from casting calls and studio lots. The transition was not easy. She faced academic challenges, including undiagnosed ADHD, and moments of doubt about whether she truly belonged in scientific spaces. Yet persistence, curiosity, and a growing fascination with the human brain carried her forward, culminating in a PhD focused on neuroendocrinology and developmental disorders. Science, motherhood, and identity-balancing graduate research with motherhood tested Mayim in profound ways. Her academic work explored how brain chemistry shapes behavior, particularly in children with genetic conditions, while her personal life demanded emotional resilience and adaptability. These experiences informed her later writing and advocacy, shaping a voice that blended science with lived experience. Rather than presenting herself as an authority without flaws, she increasingly spoke about uncertainty, mental health, and the realities of juggling multiple identities in a culture that often demands perfection. A return to television with purpose, Mayim returned to acting in 2010 with The Big Bang Theory, portraying Amy Farrah Fowler, a neuroscientist whose quirks and emotional growth mirrored aspects of Mayim's own life. The role allowed her to merge her scientific background with performance, bringing authenticity that resonated with audiences. Over time, Amy evolved from a guest character into a central figure, and Mayim became an advocate for scientific accuracy on set while also navigating industry conversations about pay equity and representation. Her work on the show earned critical recognition and reaffirmed her place in television, this time on her own terms. Public life, private choices. Outside of acting, Mayim's personal decisions, from parenting philosophies to dietary choices, often became subjects of public debate. While she shared aspects of her life openly through books, blogs, and interviews, the intensity of public scrutiny sometimes overshadowed her intent, which was rooted in conversation rather than prescription. Over time, she adjusted her public messaging, emphasizing flexibility, growth, and the importance of personal context, acknowledging that perspectives evolve with experience and new information. Stepping into Jeopardy! In 2021, Mayim joined Jeopardy! As a guest host during a transitional period for the show. Her warm, conversational style appealed to some viewers, while others favored a more traditional tone. When Sony announced a shared hosting arrangement with Ken Jennings, it appeared that stability had been reached. Yet the broader industry climate soon shifted, and labor actions in 2023 placed many performers, including Mayim, in difficult positions that tested professional relationships and personal convictions. A difficult professional turning point. During the Writers Guild strike, Mayim chose not to cross picket lines, a decision rooted in solidarity rather than defiance. While no single explanation was publicly confirmed for her eventual departure from Jeopardy, it became clear that the situation reflected a complex mix of production needs, audience preferences, and corporate strategy. When Sony announced that Ken Jennings would become the sole host, Mayim acknowledged the change with honesty and grace, later sharing that the experience was painful but clarifying. It marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of reassessment rather than retreat. Reinvention beyond the podium. Following her departure from Jeopardy! Mayim shifted focus toward podcasting, writing, and advocacy, spaces where she could speak freely about mental health, science, and resilience. Her conversations emphasized empathy and curiosity, inviting listeners to consider complexity rather than certainty. Rather than framing her career as disrupted, she began describing it as redirected, shaped by lessons learned from both opportunity and loss. A career defined by choice. Mayim Bialik's story is not one of scandal or punishment, but of evolution. From child actor to neuroscientist, from sitcom star to game show host, her life reflects a consistent pattern, choosing alignment over approval. In an industry that often rewards compliance, she has repeatedly stepped into uncertainty in pursuit of authenticity. Her journey reminds us that success is not always measured by longevity in a single role, but by the courage to redefine oneself when circumstances change. The human story beneath the headlines. Ultimately, Mayim's life illustrates a broader truth about Hollywood and beyond, that values come with costs and reinvention requires humility. While public narratives often simplify complex decisions, the reality is far more human. Mayim Bialik continues forward not as a symbol of controversy, but as an example of adaptability, intellect, and the ongoing effort to live thoughtfully in a world that rarely slows down.